Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader, with a quick update on Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Alright, so got the dump. Came down exactly to the 50 exponential. Got a nice little bounce back up. I would expect us to get a move back as high as the 21 to retest the breakdown. That's going to be about 9,500. And essentially that's going to be the cross between our 8 and our 21 to the downside, essentially like confirming a downtrend. In the event that we did get picked up, like what happened last time, we came down to it, we took out the parabolic SAR, and then we basically like got the bounce back up, and we were able to get price action back above the 8 and 21 before they crossed, and then essentially get that continuation move. So although that is a possibility at this point in time, it's less likely that it would happen again. Although I do say that, and it literally happened here at the very beginning. We got the cross fake out, and then we got that massive move up here. We got the cross fake out. So are we going to get the cross fake out again and then continuation? Well, we just got to look to see if we get a close back above like 9,600 basically, and we're able to save the cross, then I think it's possible that we're going to get that continuation to the upside. But more than likely, we essentially like came back down inside of this pattern, and we're now below those moving averages. If we can't get back above it, we're going to just come down and test the next one, which is going to be that parabolic SAR at like 9,800, or potentially, I mean, it's not unrealistic to think that we're going to come back down here to that blue support line and test that again at 85.60. But I mean, it's doing exactly what we said. You know, price action came back up, tried to get back above, flipped the slope back over to blue on the TJD TDMACD, but failed to get back above it. The histogram started selling back off, flipped it back over red, and now we're going to see continuation to the downside. And typically that's going to be like a strong continuation. And then also, you know, once again, exactly like we said, we came up here, got one more step up on the orange, and now we're coming back down. And then we got the fake out cross. We crossed back to the upside and then immediately sell straight back off on the purple and blue on the daily. So the daily just got the cross to the downside, giving us the hard sell signal. TJD TDMACD just got basically the continuation to the downside. You know, you obviously see my position. I told you all about it a while ago. Nothing has changed. I would still expect, you know, like I said, that retest back to the upside and then come back down. But this has and continues to look like distribution to me. And then let's flip over real quick and take a look at SPY. This is the same chart that I've been showing. And once again, exactly like I said with the parabolic trend line, you can go back and look at my old video. You know, we came back up here exactly and tested the yellow parabolic trend line, came all the way back up to it, exactly came into line with the 886, and then I called the top, and we got the massive dump straight back down to the 236, also back down to the parabolic trend lines for the retest. So at this point in time, I think we're going to get a bounce back to the upside, but I think that bounce is obviously like, you know, potentially we could get back up here and fill the gap all the way at like 317 or whatever, but I think it's less likely that people are going to keep falling for the same trap again. I think it's very obvious that, you know, this was essentially just like a massive short squeeze, a lot of like retail FOMO. And then again, same exact thing with the Dow. You know, if you saw my last video, told you so, and the told you so before that, I basically just called it out. We were right here. I said we're going to get the move to the upside, potentially up to the top of the channel. But I said the 786 is where I was taking profits at, and I did. I was done there. There's no reason to push back up to the 886. You know, Dow Jones is less bullish based on, you know, what it's compiled of. So, and then obviously we got that gap down, massive sell-off. You know, it's essentially like an island reversal on the weekly. I'm assuming, I haven't actually looked at it, but then this gap down, same type of thing. We could get the move back up here to try to fill that gap, but you know, we literally got the move exactly like I said, from this point to the top of the range, give or take like a percent or two, and then straight back down. That was the next call. I said straight back down to the middle point to see if that holds. So now if this doesn't hold, you know, where are we going to go? All the way back down to the bottom right here. After something like this, I would expect some kind of move back up tomorrow for the Friday close. But if we don't get a close back above like 26,250, it's going to look real bad. And I think it's more likely that we're headed back down here to like 24,200. So, and yeah, this is essentially just a retest back up to the breakdown, you know, which was that yellow parabolic trend line on Bitcoin. So I would expect once again us to get back up here on the shorter time frame to retest the 200. I said we're going to come down here and test the 200 exponential, 200. We kept testing the 200 simple. We tested 200 simple, tested 200 simple. I told you we're coming down here to the 200 exponential. And what I say, I believe it was something to the effect of we're going to come down to it, and when we do, it's going to be violent and we're going to blow right through it. And I was expecting that we would come down to that 9,200. But we were able to get actually like a little bit more strength. We didn't quite make it down to like the 89.60 range. But this looks solid for at least like some kind of continuation back to the upside. Once again, I think we could get back up here as high as 96, but I don't think it's going to happen. We got the cross on the 4 hours confirmed. So like I said, if we don't get back above 96 and start showing strength again, I'm just expecting to see like more continuation and like a sort of like just start getting droopy and then dumping back off here. I'd like to see it come down to the 377 or the 528, and I'd be able to get a little more bullish. But now here, if you go to the weekly and take a look at that, once again, it's doing exactly what we said. TJD, TDMACD, we're getting that curve up here, and it's selling off. We got higher here, and we got lower price action. So we've got a bearish divergence on the TJD, TDMACD, and then I drew this in ahead of time, but as you can see, once again, higher on the indicator and lower, and then here you got lower and higher. So if we don't rally right here and continue to the upside, we're going to print a bearish divergence on both these indicators. And right here, we're trying to cross over this monthly right now. So we're literally at the point where it could cross over to the upside. I'm sorry, it's trying to cross to the downside, and we could bounce it and continue to the upside because the orange is on top is trying to find support. But at this point in time, the weekly looks like it's topping out, getting ready to sell off. The monthly is trying to find support, and typically the weekly is going to tell us what the monthly is going to do. So if the weekly is already maxing out and starts to sell off, it's going to stop the monthly from being able to rally and find support. So that's going to sell off. So it's important for us to pay attention to the daily now and see what the daily tells us. But once again, we retested, we broke down from the yellow parabolic trend line, found support on the green, retested the yellow, and just like I just showed you on the S&P 500, what's the most likely thing to happen? We're going to sell back off and come back down here and most likely test that 382. So here we are, 71.50 is my next main target to the downside. And right now I just don't have like upside targets just because there's nothing that indicates to me that we're headed back to the upside at this point in time. If we continue to find support here for like 1 or more weeks and stay outside this range, that may change my view. But right now, I don't see anything pointing to the upside. And anyone that tells you they have been does not understand technical analysis. They're probably using lagging TA, which is where you wait until something happens and then you get on afterwards and talk about it. It's sort of like reading the news, but with technical analysis. So, and with that, guys, I'm going to let you go. Crypto Trend Trader, and I'm out of here.